Hello, my name is Jonathan Estes, founder of Smart Game Systems.
And I'm Chris Faulkenberry, the lead game designer.
We'd like to welcome you to our tutorial video for Smart Green Heroes, where we'll teach you step by step how to play the game.
In Smart Green Heroes, you play as a small business owner working to go green in a competitive environment. You do this by converting all 4 steps of your supply chain to green practices. The first player to do so will be the winner. You do this by collecting resources in 3 different areas: energy, community, and the environment. The resources are represented by these cubes. They're obtained by doing projects throughout the game. We'll talk more about those in a moment though. Now let's move on to setup. To start, place the main board on the table and put all of the customer tokens in their appropriate spots. Then give each player a player board and some company tokens to represent their small business. After that, give each player $8 to start the game. Then take all of the money and resource tokens and put them near the board where they're easy for everyone to reach. Take your consultant cards and place them near the board. These represent experts that can grant special abilities to players throughout the game, if they're able to pay. Also, place your bank loan cards near the board where everyone can reach them. These provide a quick burst of cash if you need it during the game. Finally, shuffle up the project, opportunity, and risk cards and place their decks near the main board. Randomly determine the first player and give them the first player token, and you're ready to start. Let's move on to gameplay. Now we're looking at a typical player board setup at the beginning of a game. Rounds in Smart Green Heroes take place in 2 phases, the action phase and the upkeep phase. Let's start with the action phase. During this phase, each player, starting with the first player and going clockwise around the table, can do one of 3 things. They can seek opportunity, they can start a project, or they can hire a consultant. We'll start with seeking opportunity. Opportunity cards provide you with a one-time benefit that you can use anytime during the game. To seek opportunity, you draw 2 cards from the top of the deck, look at them, choose one to keep, and discard the other one. You can use this card at any time to gain its benefit. Now we'll talk about starting a project. To do so, you will take the top 2 cards from the project deck and look at them. Choose one to keep and get rid of the other one. This card costs $5 to start, so I'll pay $5 to the bank to initiate it. It has 1 green arrow filled in, so I'll place it on my project track on the 1 space. Each turn the projects will advance, and when they move off the board, you'll gain their reward. This is how you'll get the resources that you need in order to complete your steps in your supply chain. But sometimes you'll end up with a project that's too expensive and you can't do it alone. Fortunately, you can work with other players to make this happen. Let's say, in this example, I only have $3, but I make a deal with another player, Jonathan. He agrees to contribute $6 to the project. We pay our money, a total of $9, and place it on my project track in the appropriate spot. Then Jonathan puts his company token on there to show that he's working on it too. Some projects will have risk and collaboration icons on them. Risk icons mean that the project carries some possibility of backlash, and when you complete it, you'll need to draw a risk card. Collaboration icons means that at least one other player must help you in order for you to launch that project. Finally, you can hire a consultant. To do so, take a consultant card from its place near the main board and put it near your board. You now have that consultant's special ability, but each turn you're going to need to pay for them or return them to the main board. The green consultant costs $2 a round. Once a consultant's been hired, it can't be hired again until it's returned to the board. Now let's move on to the upkeep phase. I've fast forwarded the game a little bit to show you the upkeep phase in action. It takes place in 4 steps. Pass the first player, gain income and pay expenses, advance your projects, and finally convert your supply chain. Let's tackle those in order. The first player passes the first player token to the player on their left. Then, each player will gain income from every customer that they have. Everyone starts the game with 2 customers, and those can never be lost. But you can obtain more customers through various means. In this case, I'll get $3. However, I have some expenses to pay as well. Bank loans cost $1 per round in interest. And consultants also cost money according to their retainer. The business intelligence consultant costs $1. Now I advance my projects. We start with the first player and go around the table doing so. Each project moves up 1 space. This one has moved off the board, so it's time to complete it. I will receive 1 energy, 2 community, 1 environment, and $2 from this project. Since Jonathan helped me on this project, he will receive the same thing. Now I'll keep the project over here to show that it's been completed. But this project has a risk icon, which means that it bears a risk. As such, I have to draw a risk card and suffer its effects, and since Jonathan helped on the projects, he'll suffer the effects as well. This one says I have to pay $8 to the bank, so I'm going to lose a lot of that money that I just gained. Be careful when you do risky projects, because they might come back to bite you. If you've completed 2 projects of the same type, or more, you might attract a project customer. These 2 are both energy type projects. I attract the energy customer to my business. But if anyone ever completes more energy projects than I do, they'll take that customer from me, so I need to be careful about that. Finally, it's time to convert your supply chain to green practices. Now, I've brought the main board over to show you how to convert your supply chain. This is how you win the game, so it's incredibly important to do. I have accumulated some resources here, and now I can convert 1 or more steps on the chain. In this case, I'm going to convert product and service sales. So I'll return 3 energy, 3 community, and 3 environment back to the supply, and place my company token above the step in the supply chain. Because I'm one of the first 2 players to do so, I'll gain the customer associated with that as well. Other players won't be able to gain customers, but they'll still need to complete this step if they want to win the game. Before completing any other steps though, you have to green your facility. Because I've already done this in this example, I was able to do product and service sales. Finally, we'll check to see if anybody's won the game. A player wins if they've completed all 4 steps in their supply chain, and they have no outstanding bank loan cards. If there's a tie, the player with the most customers is the winner, and if there's still a tie, the player with the most money wins. We hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and we hope you'll have a great time playing Smart Green Heroes. Thanks for watching.